Okay, how's everybody doing? So just want to briefly mention the breakwater here on the forecastle deck on the bow, and I'll just show you the instructions. You can see it there. There's the breakwater. There's a few pieces, and they modeled it open, like the gate open. And then there's a photo etch piece that you can glue on, but I'm not going to use the photo etch. I'm just going to use plastic. I'd rather weld, like just make one. They're simple and just weld it on. You can see the other parts here. So they're in the open position, just like they are right here. See there? And there's the gate hanging on the front of the breakwater. And then notice the trim. See that trim? Very significant. You don't see that on a lot of photos. Not sure if it would matter in 1/350th scale, but in 1/200 scale it definitely does, because here it is. And then I'm using the evergreen number 100 10 by 20 thou strip. I'll just trim it. You can see I overrun it a bit just so I can trim it up neat and tidy. That'll just add that, you know, it'll make it look like the basic breakwater, like in the photo. Okay, and then there's these other pieces here, and there's the strip. I just use the Tamiya thin to glue it on. And for those of you, forgive me for those of you that know this, so to get them straight like this, I just tag one end, just put a spot of glue and glue it on, leave it, glue another one on at the corner, leave it, and then when it dries, I just stretch it or just pull it straight and then wick in cement and then trim it up, and she's good to go. Okay. Okay, how's everybody doing? So I just want to show you this quick here. So this is the breakwater. So I painted it 507B, then I put a blue wash on it, intermediate blue Vallejo, and then I just took the 507C and oversprayed it. So there's a little bit of shadow and relief there. And then I got to do the back side, but I'm going to use enamels for this back part. But there's some cabinets here that'll be covering a lot of this. In behind the first breakwater, you can see this cabinet. I revised it with the doors on it according to the John Roberts drawings. Okay, so the reason why I want to point this out is because I want to just share a tip with you. So remember how when I built this up, see the flange? Like there's the tail end of the breakwater. This is this part here, and then you can see this hatch or the gate right there. See, I just scratched it out of evergreen plastic and then used some 10 by 20 strip and some really small Plastruct strip. I forget, it was a little bit smaller than 10 by 20, but just glued them on and then trimmed them off, and that was it. And then put a spacer in behind and glued it on. See, welded it and then painted it. So here's the advantage to doing, you know, strip like this. And remember how I talked about the bootstrap along the bottom? You can't see it in this drawing, but there's actually bootstrap, like waterway kind of bootstrap, to help deflect the water from the superstructure and the deck getting in, because these things must have leaked like a sieve. All these ships did, I guess. And so they're easy to paint black and then glue them on later for a really clean look. Now these, I'll show you what I'm going to do. So see this photo here? Well, it looks to me like the strip is darker. It's like a warm gray. You can see it down below there too along the deck. And you can see it most notably on the gates. See that? That's clearly a darker gray, like a warm gray, like that strip. Why they painted it like that? I mean, it could be shadow from a lip on top, but I have other photos and there is no lip like that. It actually is just like this. See that? You can see it plain as day, it's strip. So what I'm going to do is use this Faber-Castell. Like this is a India ink, sort of like a waterproof sort of ink pen called a Pitt Artist Pen by Faber-Castell, and it's called Warm Gray. And the nice thing about like strip like this, I'll show you what you can do. So you can do really like a perfect line because it's raised up from the surface of the breakwater itself, and you could just drag the pen along. It's actually a lot easier than a brush because you don't have to worry about the paint bleeding into the, you know, the nice cleaner panel. Okay, and then just like on, like, see the gate there? Like this, see that? So what I'm going to do is there's a trim, so when the gate's in place, you know, it's reinforced and matches Hood's forward breakwater. This warm gray is actually quite nice, and I find that when you stroke it on like this and it dries, it looks really good. And if you want to darken it a bit, you can do that as well. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. See that? It's just a nice, subtle gray. And then, of course, this is 507C. But let me just say this in closing here. Like, the more I study photos, the more I realize, because every photo was taken on a certain day. Like, if this is 1936, yeah, I believe it is. This was from the Hood Association. So, like, the turrets, I always notice the turrets are much more cleaner, like really bright. It's like there's sort of a, like, look at the caps on the others. There's sort of a sense of pride. Like, they'd always be painting these and making sure that certain components on the ship were really pristine. And of course, this breakwater, I'm sure when the Hood was in transit, it just gets slammed by seawater and all the, you know, the detritus and everything else. So these might be a little bit faded and so on. So the nice thing about building a ship, when you build separate components like this and add them on, you can shift the colors just a little bit so the ship doesn't look like you just rattle can the whole thing. It looks like, you know, like in scale, like, you know, on certain paint days or weeks, you know, there were certain components on the ship were being painted when others were sort of on the list, you know. Okay? Cheers. This breakwater has to be revised. I found some new photos, and there's a webbing on the rear of the gussets that hold the breakwater forward. So here's the thing. So I painted them and mounted them on, and then I sealed them all with matte medium, which is a type of acrylic, almost a, well, it's not really plastic, but it has a sort of a rubbery, flat, transparent, which I really like, and I can clear coat later, and it just unifies it all and flattens it all. But I haven't done that part yet. So I had to scrape off the paint in order to add these, like this strip here, number 102 by Evergreen Scale Models, like 10 by 40 thou, 10 thou by 40 thou, okay? For the webbing, which I need to trim off and then paint, obviously, but the reason why I did that is I didn't like the way they looked. Do you ever get that on a model where you're just moving forward? Like, ships are like this, like, at least the way I build a ship is when you see like this image right here, like 2 weeks from now or the next video, like if I show this, like it's going to be different. Like it's pieces are going to be added, and, you know, maybe rail, you know, like all this detail, like it's going to keep changing. And I'm going to be going back adding things. Like, here's an example right here. Like, I need to add a third capstan here because there's 3 chains on Hood in 1936. Anyway, so that's really what you're seeing here, and I'm just trying to document that for you. But because the webbing, like, it just didn't look right, so I added this plated webbing, which the reason why it's there on Hood is because imagine the force. So if this ship is clipping along at like 20 knots, 25, apparently she could do 30 knots. And imagine the weight of the water. Like 1 gallon of water is 10 pounds. So there's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of gallons of water smashing into this breakwater and the rear one. Like, it's a wonder they don't get sheared off. And in some of the photos that I've seen on Hood, I've noticed damage, things missing and stuff like that. And I bet you any money that they were knocked off mostly in the North Sea or in a storm. So this webbing was, I don't know when it was added, if it was on originally, but the photos that I found, it's quite significant. So that's why I decided to do it. So I'm going to clean them up. I'll probably just cap the top, and then I'll just repaint them by hand just to finish that up, because I think that at 1/200 scale, this type of webbing on the breakwater gussets is something that I just don't want to leave out, okay? So I'm just going to nibble these off flush with these flush cutter nippers. People have asked about these. I'll just mention them quick. So they're from Switzerland, called EREM, E-R-E-M. And they're carbide tip mounted to stainless steel. And how they did that, I do not know. But put it to the Swiss to figure that out. And I've had these for over 30 years now. And they never dull. Like, I only use them for plastic. But they'll nibble off a hair. Like that's how good they are. And I love them, and I pray I never lose them. So I'm going to nibble those off, and then what I'll probably do is I'll just sand the top of that, and then I'll run, well, maybe I'll run a 10 by 30. Well, we'll see. But, you know, a dry run will usually settle with size. Probably 10 by 30, because I don't need it that wide. Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. And then I'll just clean the top off so I can get a good weld there, nibble off the rest, and then just hand paint the breakwater. And then these I'll highlight so they pop a little bit as well. Okay, so you can see now the revised breakwater. You can see on the left there, that's where the strips are, and then I just sanded the tops down. They actually look pretty good on the left. However, I noticed in some of my photos, if I can just show you a photo, this one's from the Hood Association by the Jim Hagen collection, HMS Hood Association. So this is 1937, and the way you can tell is you can see the neutrality marking right there, so that would be 1937. So this would probably be very close to 1936, but you can see those strips there, but you can also see clearly there's a plate on top, or a type of strip, and it's painted dark gray there. Okay, so you can see how I've added here. So instead of using 10 by 40 like I may have shown before, I decided to use 10 by 30. Even though, like the vertical strips, as you see them, are 10 by 40. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to nibble that part off, because those gates are fastened on the front of the breakwater. So I can take that out now. And then what I'm going to do is I'll paint that. They look so much better now. And then let me just turn the old beast around so that you can get a little bit of a better look at it from this angle. Okay. You can see how I cleaned up the corner there, so there's this sort of flange on the top. So that's a big improvement to just the stock Trumpeter breakwater. And you can see where I added the hatch pieces, which I scratched as well. You can see how I'm just laying this piece on. So let me just share this tip before I close out on this part. So when you're going to do this, just make sure you scrape the paint off. And then I used, you know, the good old Tamiya extra thin. And what I do is, and forgive me for those that already know this, but I just glued the tip right here. I get that started, like it's glued all the way down now. And I just let it set for 5 or 10 minutes. And then I stretch it, like my left hand here, like see there? I just like I do this with all my strip. Like Hood has literally been plated and stripped, and like here I'll show you another strip that I did today, like as well. Okay, so I added this here, and I blended it into the side here where the waterway is. And then of course I've done all these, like these new screens, like to scale, and then these davits for the boat launch, which will be built off of this. And then I added a 10 by 30 strip all the way down, and it merges to the back to where the quarterdeck is. So a lot of strip, you know, added in places everywhere on the model in the same way that I'm just showing you right here. Make sure that's focused. Yeah. So like in the same way, so it's the same sort of method, right? So then what I'll do is I'll just put some cement under there. In fact, why don't I just do that right now? I'll just show you that in closing. I usually like to just leave the centerpiece on just so it helps me to keep it tight. I'll lay some in there. I'll do that just to get it started. And then I'll just finish off the tail piece, and then I'll wrap it around. But I'll get this glued first and then bend that down and then just push my knife into the corner just to cut it off short after I move this tape, and then nibble out that centerpiece where the gate was. And then you get a really nice clean breakwater. I find that like one of the things, like sort of a tip, like you can really clean up a model and make it look good with strip. Notice the strip here, like the boot strap I call it. It's a water seal all the way around. See that? Like they did that to keep the water out, or tried to. They never could, but you know, like it helped a lot. You get a lot of wash, and it would go down in between the planking and the steelwork. So they would put this strap, and there was like a heavy kind of rubberized paint, I think, in some cases, and it would help deflect the water. Okay? Cheers.